I found something in these woods that I think I could turn into a beautiful stained glass sun catcher. So let me show you. Hi, I'm Brianna, the Upper Corner Creative, and I'm ready to take my stained glass to the next level by designing my own projects. So I'm starting with asking questions, very important questions, like, can I turn this into stained glass? Hello, Jeffrey. Hi, buddy. Or this. Or maybe even one of these. The possibilities are endless because if I can see it, can I glass it? I spent most of my life in Wyoming, and while Wyoming has its fair share of beautiful places, for the most part, it is wide open spaces with sagebrush as far as the eye can see. Not to mention horrible, brutal winters. 3 years ago, my husband and I decided to make a move for it. We relocated to an island in Washington. The landscape in Western Washington is vastly different from the Rocky Mountain region that I'm used to. Western Washington is more like a rainforest. The trees dwarf the trees back home, and everything grows like it's in a race. If we don't spend time cutting through the woods, it is nearly impossible to navigate through them. While cutting our way through the other day, we found a whole bunch of berries that we've never seen before. We found us some salmon berries. Salmon berries come in all different kinds of colors and shapes. The berry is native to the Pacific Northwest and comes in just before the blackberries do, and it gets its name due to its resemblance in salmon roe and that it was often consumed with salmon roe. If you're curious like I am, you're probably wondering how they taste. And they don't taste very good. They're slightly sweet and they're more bitter than anything. I might not be making pie with these anytime soon, but I think I could probably transform these into a piece of stained glass. So let's get started. I'm going to start off by saying this. I can't draw. I'm not even going to pretend that I can. But I can trace, and that has been quite beneficial for me. So this may or may not work, but all I can do is try. So for designing patterns, I like to use Procreate. There are so many videos out there to help you learn how to use Procreate. This video is not going to be one of them. So I'm just going to go over a quick gist of how I did this. I took a little picture of my cute little berry. There it is. Went into the layers, turned the opacity down, created another layer, did a brief sketch, created another layer, turned the first layer off, did more of a permanent layer, I guess you would say. And this is what I came up with. I feel like it looks hideous. This may be a bust, but we're just gonna go with it. I like to use my Cricut to cut my patterns out onto permanent vinyl or sticker paper. Ain't nobody got time to be cutting patterns out by hand. Plus, just look how satisfying this is. Don't forget to number your pieces, and now it's time to move on to my favorite part of the process, the cutting. This here is the grinding process. It smooths out those imperfect edges and roughens up the edges that can be too smooth for the copper foil to adhere to properly. Here I'm wiping the pieces down with rubbing alcohol. This just cleans the pieces of any residue or dust from the grinding process prior to copper foiling. Copper foil is essential because it's the only thing the solder will cling to, and soldering is what connects all your pieces together. It is also my least favorite step. It's soldering time. Let's be honest, who doesn't enjoy some soldering footage? Just enjoy. After soldering both sides, it's time to give the piece a good scrub. I usually use some quick clean first, which I didn't show here, and then just some dish soap and water. Next, I take some double aught grade steel wool and scrub all the solder lines really well. This step is essential for that super black patina finish that everybody loves. After I'm done scrubbing, I give it a good rinse and allow it to dry fully. Speaking of patina, I use the Novacan Black Patina. This part I find so satisfying. Look at that. I'm usually pretty liberal with my patina. I pour a bunch on it and just rub it in really well. After wiping the piece dry, I use a finishing compound by Clarity. Some people like to use car wax or pledge, but I feel like this does a better job. I rub this in really well into all of the solder lines and then allow it to dry for several hours to a hazy finish. After drying, I use a microfiber cloth to buff out the finishing compound. I use a couple different tools to help me remove the compound from those harder to reach areas. Sometimes we do things and they turn out incredible. Sometimes we do things and they turn out horribly wrong. And sometimes we do things and they turn out kind of eh. And I feel like this is one of those times. I feel like this turned out eh. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Here is the stained glass salmonberry. I feel like there's things that I could have done differently. Let me know down in the comments section what you would have done differently. I have so many more ideas, so bear with me. This was only my first video. I can only get better from here on out. So please stay tuned because I can promise you the next video is going to be even better. See you next time.